Hello, my little droogies and only friends, my volunteer tributes, my fellow bike-obsessed zealots. My name is Mini JP. Welcome to our second video in the quarantine series, in which I'll name the bikes I'm going to buy this year. As always, I hope you are safe and healthy and staying at home as recommended. Remember that this is no ordinary list. This is the list of motorcycles Mini JP will own in the near future. Today's list will cover the big dogs, the full-size sports bikes. But before we start, let me show you the bikes I bought since last episode. But today it's all about the big kahunas, so hold on to your butts. Coming in at number 9, the MV Agusta F4RR. Now this bike has not been announced yet for 2020 or 2021, and that is why it's last on the list. 195 horsepower and 110 Newton meters of torque from the 998cc inline 4, the RR ruled the spec sheets back in 2011 when it was first introduced. In 2014 it also added the premium electronics package, Öhlins electronic suspension, ride-by-wire throttle that incorporated 8 levels of traction control. It had up and down electronic gearbox, launch control, the works. Problem is, none of those electronics work really well, and they have not improved in 6 years. All the other manufacturers quickly caught up and left the F4RR in the wind and carrying a now absurd price tag of $27,998. Anyway, if they don't come up with a new model this year, I will have to buy a 2019. Yes, it's so pretty, you just have to have one. Number 8 is for the Ducati Panigale V4. Now all these full-size sports bikes have different configurations with all types of gadgets for the track. I will go for the base model. That means only 214 horsepower and 124 Newton meters of torque from the 1103cc V4. This bike is so powerful it is truly dangerous, not really rider friendly. Now to supposedly improve the fueling for the base model this year, you also get all kinds of electronic help. Cornering ABS, traction control, slide control, wheelie control, launch control, up and down quick shifter, engine braking control, and electronic suspension. The only thing missing is dumbass squid control. And this year you also get the ugly MotoGP winglets on the base model. Why not go for the R model or even the S? 2 reasons. The first one is simple, the price. $21,995 sounds a lot more reasonable for a street bike than $40,000 for the R, or even $28,395 for the S. We won't even mention the Superleggera. Most importantly, Mini JP is old, and like most people who actually buy these bikes, he's not going to no racetrack. I'm using my bikes to ride on the streets and the highways of Texas. I need suspension that lasts, I need tires that last. And when I want to go to the track, I'll buy a damn race bike. Ducatis always look good, and the V4s sound great. Problem with them, just like the MV Agusta, they feel premium in the fit and finish, but when you actually ride them, they feel a little clunky, especially for that price point. I'm starting to feel they are the Harleys of the sport bike world. People claim that clunkiness is part of the appeal, but it's not just confidence inspiring. I want a chassis that feels planted, and an engine gearbox that works smoothly. At number 7, the Aprilia RS V4 1100 Factory. Okay, Mini JP, you just said the base models are better for you, so why go for the factory on the Aprilia? Stop asking me these stupid questions. With the base model, you only get 201 ponies. I want the 217 horsepower and 122 Newton meters of torque from the original V4. I also want the Öhlins electronic suspension and the Acropovic full exhaust system. Now, this is a solid feeling planted bike. And it's nimble. The $26,495 price tag is the only thing keeping this thing from being number 1. Next is the new Fireblade, the Honda CBR 1000RR-R SP. All of these could be number 1. The new blade is Honda's way of getting back on the full-size leaderboard, with a clear sight on the World Superbike competition. 215 horsepower and 112 Newton meters of torque from the 998 inline 4. The design of the cylinders comes directly from the RC213V. Don't know which one that is? Not to worry, my little droogies, that is why I'm here. That's the bike that Marc Marquez has been riding for the last 7 years. At 28,500, it obviously incorporates all the latest in technology: throttle modes, adjustable traction control, Öhlins electronic suspension, Brembo brakes, quick shifter, even a keyless ignition. Everyone who's ridden one says it is very uncomfortable, which is a new one for Honda. The Fireblades in the past were created for street riding. This one is built for the track, but also so expensive it is out of most people's reach. Another one that could easily be number one, the Yamaha R1. For only $17,399, you can get this 998cc cross-plane crankshaft inline 4 that makes 200 horsepower and 112 Nm of torque. Once again, I will not go for the full top-of-the-line YCF R1M, especially since for 2020 the regular R1 comes equipped with full IMU censoring electronic aids. So I will miss the carbon fiber and the Öhlins electronic suspension, but I will be saving almost 10 grand. That's a full brand new Kawasaki ZX-6R. I will also not have the ability to change my suspension through my phone because I always want to stop and use my phone to change my suspension settings. Number 4 is for the other Fireblade, the CBR 1000RR. The last generation blade is still being sold. It makes sense to buy both, as they are two completely different bikes. I'm not saying that this one is a better super sports than the new one, not by a long shot, but a better street bike, yes indeedy. A much more comfortable ride, this 998cc inline 4 that produces 189 horsepower and 113 Nm of torque is a much better option. The top-of-the-line SP comes in at $19,999. That's $5K less than last year. Not bad for a bike with the electronic Öhlins and all the trimmings. It has an electronic steering damper, selectable torque control, not just traction control, slide control, wheelie control, launch control, and gyro-assisted ABS. It has so much control, you'll feel like you're married. You can also add the up and down quick shifter that unfortunately does not come standard on the bike. And if you're looking to save money, you can go for the base model, especially if you can find all the old black version. That one goes for $16,799. On the regular one, you will miss the silver chassis and the golden wheels. Tell you the truth, I'm not really fond of the looks of the regular one, but nothing a good old wrapping can solve. This Honda is a joy to ride. It's fast, it's nimble, it's smooth, and it has that Honda premium quality feel to it. It's so slim that you feel like you're riding a 600. It also weighs less wet than most of its competitors do dry. And once you get it revving, it reminds you that it's still a Widowmaker waiting to happen. So what if it's not the fastest? There will always be somebody faster out there than you. Yes, you are not the Dom of motorcycles, so why go crazy trying to prove that you're Marc Marquez? This is also the last bike that Nicky Hayden rode professionally. I will buy it just as an homage to the Kentucky Kid. We start our top 3 with the S1000RR by Bavarian Motorworks. The legendary 998cc inline 4 cross-eyed beast got a whole new facelift last year, and I kinda miss the wanking of the old one, but this one is a much prettier machine. All the premium feel of BMW and all the performance you expect. Of course, if all the performance means 205 horsepower and 112 Nm of torque. The European version makes more, but here in America, we have to tinker with it to get the full potential. Now, if you've never ridden any of the other competitors, you'd feel that this is the fastest machine on earth, which is close, but it's not. And if you go by the claimed MSRP of $16,995, you'd also think it's the best bang for buck performance-wise you could get, counting all other motorcycles and even cars, but it's not. For a decent package that will compete with today's bikes, you'd have to pay at least $18,890. The runner-up on today's list is the GSX-R 1000R. Who comes up with these ridiculous names? Anywho, the top-of-the-line Gixxer comes in at $17,699, and as opposed to the Beamer, you'll be pressed to find a dealer that actually offers it for that price. It is usually lower. Factory rebates and dealer discounts, you'll walk away a happy camper with a 999cc inline 4 that produces 199 horsepower and 113 Nm of torque. And this bike is a joy to ride on the street. People hate the electronics because they are so intrusive. Well, I love them. They show me when I'm making a mistake and they turn me into a better rider. Mini JP most always knows his limitations, but it's good to have a Japanese electronic guardian angel watching over me, And I love the MotoGP color scheme. And the #1 full-size super sports bike for 2020 and 2021 and every other year is the Kawasaki Ninja CX-10R. The original Widowmaker, the embodiment of a superbike. And yes, I'm a fan of Johnny Ray, and yes, I won the World Superbike color scheme, so sue me. No, don't sue me. Point is, this is my list. You don't like it? Deal with it. Leave your comments below. I like it so much I'll buy 2 of them. The SE model with all the electronic goodies, and the regular one with the World Superbike color scheme. That one comes in at only $16,399. 998 cc's, 197 horsepower, and 114 Newton meters of torque. This bike is maybe not the fastest, but it's the best one for riding on the street, especially on the freeway. So yeah, it's heavy. But I like that. I like the way this thing handles the wind. It's so solid and planted, it just fills you with confidence. And the ride-by-wire is smooth as butter. Now the SE is not being sold in America for 2020, but I can get a 2019 for around $20K. On a footnote, not even a mention of the H2? Don't get me started. I hate the looks of that H2O, whatever it's called. I hate it so much I'll never buy one, I've never ridden one, and I don't want to ride one. Now the CX-10R SE does not come with the top-of-the-line Öhlins active electronic suspension, but it does offer a special Showa made specifically for Kawasaki electronic controlled suspensions. And you can change it on the fly with the push of a button. Rider modes, launch control, traction control, electronic steering damper, up and down quick shifter, and all for $5K less than the RR model, or basically any of its competitors. And the new World Superbike color scheme is just gorgeous. Any photos you'll find on the web will not do it justice. You have to witness it live, in the sun. Once the sun hits that golden detail, you'll fall in love. It just stands out. You can have all the other bikes lined up and you'll be drawn to this one. It just says ride me and ride me hard. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, send the video to all your friends, and do all the things you do with videos so that I know that you liked it. Or if you didn't like it, then send it to all your enemies. Hope you and your loved ones are safe, and as for me, I will continue to pray for these bad times to be over soon. Meanwhile, I'll continue to entertain myself by making YouTube videos.